everyone, Ittarra here, bringing you another Soulcalibur VI video. In this video, we are doing an Astaroth guide. Now, I ran a poll on Twitter as well as YouTube about what they wanted to see, whether it be a combo video or an Astaroth guide. Everybody wanted to see an Astaroth guide. Not everyone wanted to see it, but about 89% wanted to see an Astaroth guide, so here we are. Now, there's a couple of bullet points I want to do this before we hop into this monstrosity of a character. I play Astaroth extremely aggressively, so this playstyle might not work for you, okay? This character is extremely easy to pick up because he's just mostly solid buttons. And by solid buttons, I mean, like, he doesn't require too much execution to use. But the one thing that Astaroth needs to be a threat and to be amazing is amazingly good reads. If you want to start doing throw loops, if you want to start getting counter hit 6Ks, which is his knee, if you want to start doing all that and vortexing people properly, you need to be able to read your opponent as you have to be able to read your opponent extremely well. Astaroth does not have the utility other characters have. He doesn't have a real safety net. Either you make the big brain reads or you get completely blown up and destroyed. There is no in-between with this character. There is either you're destroying them or they're destroying you, and we'll go over that extremely shortly. Now, the other thing is I'm going to try and keep this as beginner, intermediate, and advanced, okay? If there's an advanced, I will blatantly tell you that there is an advanced part to this, or just in general. But I'm going to try and keep it into 20-minute segments, if that, for beginner, advanced, and intermediate, and the reason for that is because nobody wants to see an hour-long Astaroth video pop up in their feed. Nobody's gonna watch that. But anyway, let's get into it, and we're just gonna start with his bare bones basic buttons. I'm gonna take this character off all this, and we're just gonna have him standing. Alright, Astaroth only has 2 punishes in his entire arsenal. That's 4A, standing K. Okay? They're I-12. Those are your go-to punishes. They're not great. And the reason they're not great is for one important reason. 4A? Hang on. They're both highs. You will get tech duck to hell and back. There's Astaroth's #1 weakness, minus strings. But if you have a tech duck, you can literally destroy and devastate Astaroth to every extent possible. Because he does not have any truly good mids that are horizontals. He has one good mid that's a horizontal. That, which is Balba, which is 6A plus B. Didn't used to be good, is actually okay now. But he's not great when it comes to actual punishes, and that's the main issue. People can abuse Astaroth to hell and back because of the fact he cannot actually get them off of you without minus a GI. If your only defensive option is GI or reversal edge, you're going to get blown up. That's just all it is. So you have to maintain the pressure. You have to maintain your buttons. Now, the #1 thing is Astaroth has 3 great buttons. He has 3 great buttons, strings, whatever you want to call it. And they're really, really devastating if applied properly. Well, 4. But the 4th one is kind of iffy for me. I can never make it work for myself. Okay? Now, his 3rd best button, okay, it's his Bull Rush. Standard, absolutely devastation, but the problem is, it can be stepped really easily. It's not like a vertizontal like it was in 5. Not even the charged version is like that. But the good news is, no matter what, even on counter hit, you either get a hard knockdown on counter hit, or you can get 4A to keep up the pressure and to keep yourself positive. Because standard 4A, you're +2. That's pretty good, right? That's one of Astaroth's key strengths. When he hits you, or if you grab break him, he's plus. It's his turn still, no matter what. Unless you got a tech duck. Then, again, same thing, Achilles heel. Now, the other great button he has, which is #2, is BA. Now, the reason for BA being such a good move is because this is neutral, okay? Sure, it's steppable, as you can see there. So if they start out stepping, you're going to whiff your B. But here's the good thing. It reaches at neutral. And if you time it just right, you can catch their step, because it will autocorrect. It will track the enemy, and it will autocorrect to actually hit them. And even if they step the horizontal, if they're not properly prepared to punish you, the A will catch them every time. Because the A is actually a mid-horizontal. This move actually got introduced in Season 2, and the other thing was when it was first released, it was buggy as hell. It didn't used to be good, it's amazing now. And then on to the absolute best button Astaroth has. I don't care what anyone says, this move is so damn good, utility-wise, offensive-wise, and everything else. And that is his knee, the beloved 6K. You will always, and I mean always, see people getting hit by this, no matter what. And even on block, it's fucking good because of the pushback. Now, let's show you why this is such a good move. Boom! Counter hit, 6K, into something amazing. And the reason I have Yoshimitsu doing AA is because it's one of the fastest AAs in the entire game. It's I-10. So it's above it's a really great punish, but it's a high. 6K, tech duck, high. That is amazing. And he gets a counter hit after it. Hold up. And can go immediately into vortexing your opponent. Boom! Look at that. And then you're back at neutral, you're back close, but Astaroth +4 in the scenario. So if they do any move, if they panic, if they hit another 6K, like, let me show you. Boom! You can just keep it going. A lot of people panic when they see themselves getting stuck with that. 6K is one of Astaroth's most important tools. Now, here's the problem with it. This is the only problem with it. Let's go back to number 2, and let's just have you block. Select move. No, I'm sorry. Block. Where is block? It should be right here, no? Is blocking only a thing here? Why am I blind? Every time I try to do this, I'm completely freaking blind. Whatever. Anyway. Oh, it's in standing. Duh! I keep forgetting it's all in stand. Alright. Let's see here. Dummy character guards only the first hit of an attack. Alright, let's do that. Now, for some reason, that actually works. Huh, I wonder why. Anyway, the thing is, with 6K, is you can step it pretty clean, but you have to sidewalk it. You can't actually step like Yoshimitsu's doing here. You have to sidewalk it. So, you're kinda, You know, it's one of those things where it's like, it's a great move. It's one of his best moves to get pressure off of you if they go for a high or something like that. But the main problem is it can be stepped. I can't really show it too well here because, well, maybe I can. Let me see here. We run, we'll just have him run left, whatever. See? There you go. As you can see here, you get punished free if you try to do it twice. But if you got somebody that loves to hit buttons, you can pretty much 6K him for free. And you can just keep vortexing him for however long you want. Now, the number one thing that I want to tell you about Astaroth is, it's his grab breaks. His grab breaks are one of the best in the entire game. That's not even an exaggeration. I will openly admit that his grab break potential is pretty damn good. Because even if you break the grab, it's still my turn. I'm +8 on it. Normally when you break a grab in this game, regardless of command or normal, you're either 0, so it's back to neutral, fastest move wins, or whatever, or you are -2, I believe. I believe you're -2 on a grab break. Now, the reason why this is a huge thing with Astaroth is because when you break a grab, you're at this range exactly, okay? Now, what can Astaroth get? Whatever happens, and when you're discussing Astaroth, never allow somebody to say Astaroth at +8 is absolutely devastating. You are now in the most trouble. You really aren't. or they really aren't. Astaroth only gets one extra turn. The only time that this is a problem is when they're at the wall. When they're at the wall, game on. Fucking, oh my god, it's ridiculous. But at this range, when you have room to move and everything else, Astaroth only gets one extra turn, and this is where the heavy reads come in. If they break a grab, you have two options in this scenario. Just two. You can either 6A or 6B. You can do either one of those. Now, here's the problem with... excuse me. Here's the problem with wanting to do 6B after a grab break. I'll just show you what it is, so that way when it's, you know... where is 8-way run attacks? Hold up. Just give me 1 second. That's reversal edge, main attacks, lethal hit attacks, special moves. Give me the friggin' 8-way... Thank you. Alright. We need Shrine. Okay. Now, this is why this is such a big deal. Okay? Let's just do this. Oh, sorry. My instincts kicked in there. Oh, for God's sake, is it really gonna do this to me now? Anyway, the number one thing is 6B can be stepped. We'll just have a 8-way run. Screw it. As you can see, 6B will get stepped no matter what. It doesn't matter what it is, 6B can be stepped. Now, this is the interesting thing. 6A will always catch step, but 6A is a high, so you can get tech ducked. Do you see why we keep coming back to tech ducking and lows and being a problem for Astaroth? So, you have to make a choice. Do you either do 6B on the off chance that they hit a button, or do you do 6A in the chance that they might step? Either way, you lose your turn after that. And the reason you lose your turn after that is because, while it looks like 6B can do a lot, it really can't. Because if they can step free, they can punish you. So, we're just gonna do this real quick. Select move. Or, is standing has, oh, attack, here we go. We'll just do this. 6B. As you can see here, I get punished. Even with a simple button like AA, I get punished. Now, we'll just do 6B. I clash with 6A. So 6A is usually your best option, but here's the problem. You ain't getting another turn after it. If they block 6A, you get maybe one extra button after that. But after that, it's game on you. So... the reason I love this character and the reason I put up with his nonsense is because I'm just a grappler. I just love grappling. That's the only reason why I put up with it. Now, the number one thing about Astaroth that's really decent is, like I said, his grabs. The only problem with the grabs, though, is you have to make an actual read no matter what scenario you're in. You can't just second guess yourself. You have to commit. Now, this is a really... Ooh, excuse me. Stand first guard. I don't want you to stand first guard. Normal. Here we go. Now, this is probably the most utility tool to use at a distance, I would want to say. BA is pretty good at neutral. 6K keeps up offensive pressure when you actually have the right scenario set up. But this one is what you will usually initiate with. Alright? It's 1-1B. Or 7-7, whichever. You'll see every Astaroth throwing this out as an initiation button. And the reason why is because look at how long range that is. You know, it's so long range. And you can get different things off of it, but at tip range it becomes a little bit unreliable on the follow-up because you can either... You can either get that, they can either land in front of you, where you have the command grab, or they can land behind you, which gives you back turn B plus K, like this. Boom. So, you're kind of going to have to make a judgment call on that one, because it's actually kind of unreliable. See, like, I think if I'm at this range, you will land in front, and you have to command grab. If I'm at this range, which barely makes a difference, how was I supposed to know I was supposed to grab there? See what I mean? But it's still one of his best moves because of the fact you get 78 damage on pretty much a whiff punish. So it's not too terrible. Now, here's the one thing that makes him excel even more. Okay? It's his counter hits. His counter hits are probably, I would want to say, the staple, the second staple of his character. You get so much damage off of his counter hits, so many different types of resets, and just in general, so many mind games just because of his counter hits. Because breaking grabs are always a 50-50, unless you're actually really paying attention offline. You can actually see the startup of the grab because of the throw break window being increased. I'm still upset at that, and they haven't fixed CS. And the other thing is if they're laying face down like that, you can restand them into a +4. Now watch what's important about this. Boom! They have to eat your follow, no matter what. And that's how the vortex starts. Now, the number one thing I want to say about that is it's amazing when it happens, but try not to rely too much on it because, again, it's steppable and it's actually punishable if you're not careful enough. Because if you're at the wall and they block, like, if he's at the wall like this, and I do 6K, I can't hit another button. That pushback is what makes it relatively safe. But doesn't work here. So there's that. Now, that's gonna do it for the beginner part. That's just the bare bones basics, okay? 4A, 6K, into a standard restand like this. Hang on. 1-1 or 7-7B. And then you have 6A, BA, and then Bull Rush. Hey, stop it. Ah. So that's pretty much the standard for Astaroth. That's just the bare bones basics. That's pretty much all you really need to know about him. You can also throw out 6A plus B, which is that into a crouch grab. Now, that's brand new to his kit. So, it's actually a really decent buff to 6A plus B. Catches stepping, gives you hard crumple, and also they have to respect it a little bit more than 4A. Now, here's the problem. I'm going to show you why this is a problem. I get punished on it. So you can't really just throw it out willy-nilly like you could like an Amy string or a Column string or something like that. You can't throw it out like that. Or anything that has to deal, or Ivy's Christmas tree or something like that. It's not a great button unless you know they're going to step. So throw it out with some caution. It's not like it's not a free button by any stretch of the imagination. Also, you can see right here, if they block 6K and they have a decent AA or an I-12 AA, you're not getting out of it. So it's -14 or -12 at least. So be careful with 6K as well, but the utility of 6K is just too good to pass up. That's why it makes it so good. You get so many options, and it completely opens up Astaroth's kit. So that's going to do it for the beginner part of this. On the intermediate part, we're going to go over, I believe we're going to go over his actual revenge, which is pretty much what they stapled him about. So we're going to go over that because most of his revenge actually has a lethal hit condition on it. So, this is Ittarra signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope to see you in the next part. Take care, everyone, and be safe. Later, also, just so you know, down in the description, there will be links to each individual part when they are released. So, be on the lookout for that, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care, everyone, and be safe. Later!